Gears of War, although I've loved, most of these games, one of the games within the franchise, I think we could probably all agree, was the weakest of the franchise, was Gears of War Judgment. I thought that they definitely had some elements to it that I thought were interesting. I thought Gears of War Judgment, they changed up some of the, gameplay mechanics, which was interesting. I don't think it worked properly, but nonetheless, they tried some things, and I think it was a valiant effort for sure. But, it leads us to, obviously, with this Gears of War collection coming out, or allegedly coming out, they're not going to do Gears of War Judgment, which is interesting. And what I'm wondering is, are they waiting until a later date to do Gears of War Judgment, or do they think that maybe Gears of War Judgment just wasn't nearly as popular, and so they're just going to, kind of leave that one to the wayside? They're not going to touch it. They don't want to mess with, Gears of War Judgment having a remaster and things of that nature. It's really, really fascinating to me, because I think that Gears of War Judgment, if they fine-tune some of the mechanics and things of that nature with a remaster, it might be a much better experience. I think that the major issue I had with Gears of War Judgment was the entire campaign, as an example, felt like you were going, it felt like horde mode. You're just going up against waves and waves of enemies, go to the next, level, and then you're going up against waves and waves of enemies once again. It didn't feel like a true Gears of War campaign experience to me. It felt more like horde mode, with a little bit of story, like to the horde mode. And so I totally didn't agree with the way they went about Gears of War Judgment. Multiplayer components were interesting. I don't think it landed. I think it was a major step down from Gears of War 3, without question. And I think most people can agree. I mean, because Gears of War 3 was the peak, in my opinion, of Gears of War. It was the pinnacle. I mean, it was Mount Everest for Gears. And then you have Judgment, which just felt like a step, in the wrong direction. And I see what they were trying to do. Epic Games was trying to, create some side stories with Baird and with these different characters and things of that nature. And there's nothing wrong with them trying those things. I just didn't agree with it, man. They were at such a high, and then all of a sudden you kind of take a different direction, different route. And I just didn't understand that. I really didn't. And so Gears of War Judgment not getting in the collection, I get it. The most coveted games in the franchise are 1 to 3, and it makes sense to remaster those. But they could be waiting until a later date to release Gears of War Judgment as a remaster in the future. And hey, man, I'd be all for it to at least check it out again. And maybe they fine-tune some things, whether it's mechanics or the story, whatever it might be. And I'd be totally in for that. Because I've been pretty overly critical of Judgment. I really have. But I just didn't think that it was a worthy successor to Gears of War 3, which I believe is one of the greatest games of all time. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about it in the comment section down below about Gears of War Judgment. Do you think Gears of War Judgment should be a part of the Gears of War collection or the Marcus Fenix collection, which obviously would not be a part of the Marcus Fenix collection? But do you think it should play a part in the Gears of War collection, or do you think they should remaster the game at all? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and let us know your thoughts.